I was working, doing really high-end work. Everybody on site was like, whoa, that's crazy. You must make bank. And I pointed to the first-year carpentry students, and I was like, that guy makes more money than me. And especially in the woodworking industry now, there are not a lot of innovations with stuff, but there are a lot of features that are designed to make things more convenient. And what that is doing is it's stripping the work ethic from people. My communication with my client is what is bringing me money. I could be building these cabinets and build them twice as fast, but it's not going to bring me any more money if I am terrible with my communication.
Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve. Today's guest is John Stene from Stene Woodworks. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for making the time to talk. So can you tell us, how'd you get in business?
Mostly it was, grew up in a cabinet shop. Wasn't really planning to be a cabinet maker, but been working in cabinet shops for, 17 years. And just moved back down and to the home place where I grew up, and my dad passed away, and then the shop was sitting here empty. So I decided to take up the shop and start the business.
That's awesome. What year is that? How long you been in business?
I've had my own business since 2017, but it was more kind of a side deal, but it became full-time right around 2021.
Okay. What was the motivation to go full-time?
Mostly, I just kind of peaked as an employee. I wasn't able to make the money I was looking for. And I just saw a lot of opportunity to be able to jump in and do my own thing.
What did you do before?
Well, it was cabinet making, installs, that type of stuff. Yeah. So no, it's not
like you had a corporate job. It's not
No, not at all. Actually, the corporate side or the business side is actually my weak suit. Everything else is much better at.
So you're in Montana, right?
Yep, central Montana.
And what's the market like for cabinet makers there?
It's interesting. I'm discovering more and more what the market actually looks like. There's a couple different levels. So there's tiers of cabinet making and cabinets that people are buying. There's the top tier, which is custom homes, not just custom homes, but like high-end custom homes. People moving in with lots of money from California or East Coast, that type of stuff. They move in. They have all this extra money from selling their super inflated place in California. And then they have all this money to build a house, and they want to build a really nice big house, and so that's what they do. There's a huge market for that in a town called Red Lodge. It is a ski resort type town. And then there's the middle of ground, which is a custom home, and they want quality cabinets. Sometimes they order from cabinet design houses, which I'm trying to raise awareness with a lot of the builders in the area that type of stuff is junk and they shouldn't be putting it in a custom home. And then you have track home dudes who pretty much always go for those design houses. Yeah. And then you have just the DIY guy who is ordering stuff from Lowe's or Home Depot, which, funny enough, is the exact same cabinet as the ones that the design houses.
Yeah.
Way cheaper. Yeah. But it's the same cabinet. It's the exact same cabinet.
Yeah. And what was your first sort of major milestone when you first started your business?
I wouldn't say there's been a major milestone. There's been steady growth. So when I look back at where I was, it's been basically small step after small step that's accumulated into where I'm at right now, which, if I would have gone from starting, it would have been a pretty big deal. I would say the first couple bigger steps, or the level up, you might say, would have been when I got in with a few different builders in the area, and in construction, GC type, general construction type guys, and I've been able to show them my work and show them that it's worth the price, because that's the hard thing. It's just somebody hasn't seen the work and doesn't see the kind of service that I provide. It's hard for them to have a benchmark to understand the value, because what I offer is there's not many people in the area offering that, and so there's nobody really knows what it is like. They know, oh, I order these cabinets from this design house, it's delivered to my house, some dude who's a chain smoker and has ripped jeans and that type of stuff is going to install it. Not terribly professional. And then any problems that arise, like damaged cabinets or the wrong sizes or whatever, they then have to do all the legwork to talk to the company to try to figure it out. Whereas none of my cabinets arrive damaged. And if there are any problems, I'm taking care of it, unless I need their opinion about something, and then we go from there. But yeah, that what I would say is the biggest thing is being able to establish my value to my customers, and that's mostly been with builders or general contractors in the area.
That's cool. How did you get to start meeting them?
Honestly, it was I knew a couple guys. I grew up in this area, so this shop is the one I worked in growing up. It's my dad's shop. I bought the houses up the hill, and some of the guys that were my age growing up, they're
GCs
contractors now too.
Yeah.
They're not really GCs. They're more subs. But I just asked them, say, hey, who are the good guys in the area? And there's another dude who does HVAC work. Mountain Air is his company. And his dad ran that company, and his dad has been working in the area for years and years and years, established value in the market, knows the guys to work for, knows the guys to not work for. And so that was a very, very valuable resource. And I just asked him, it's like, hey, who are the guys that you would want to work for the most? He gave me those numbers. I cold called those guys and just bugged them until they would meet with me, until I could show them. I could bring them. There's a couple times I could bring them to a job site. Customer was fine with it, and say, hey, this is the work that I do, and if there's any problems, I'm on it right away. You're not talking to an employee. You're talking to the guy who's going to do all the work himself. So
yeah, that's
So
cool.
far, that's the way it's going.
That's awesome. And it's not like you need a lot in order to have a good business, right?
No. It's the main thing right now is just making sure that I become known in the area. So I'm known by a few people. I'm not known by a lot of people. So I'm breaking into that market. Most of the guys that were around when my dad was here, because he built cabinets for 35 years in the area, everybody knew who he was. And those guys who knew who he was have retired. And all the guys that are in now are probably 10 years from retirement, and they don't really know the name anymore. So I'm having to build all that back up. So
Yeah. What are you by yourself, or do you have a team?
No, I'm by myself for now. My plan is to scale the company. To scale the company, though, I need to get that volume of work that comes in, which is why right at the moment I'm mostly establishing my reputation in the market right now.
For sure. What do you say is your core product?
My core product basically is cabinets, custom cabinets.
Yeah.
I specialize in work that other guys can't do, or don't have the manpower to do. Meaning the specialty stuff. Everybody can crank out a cabinet on a CNC. Not everybody can do the more specialty work that can't be done on a CNC. CNCs are the workhorse of the cabinet shop today, and then you just need guys to run it. Where I came from is I'm that skilled guy in the shop who then started his own business, But those skilled guys are not really, they're there, but not very many. And most of them are 45 plus years old. They're going to retire soon. And there's not a lot of people. Like I worked at this one shop filling in for a finisher when I first moved back. And all the guys are over 45. All of them.
Yeah.
The one guy I was filling in for was the young dude, but everybody else, all over 45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like like not to say it, an aging subset of the wood industry that in many ways they're still not even adapting to technology and new techniques, but they have this skill, right?
Well, a lot of them have adapted because they have to, because they know what's going on. They look at it and go, my workforce, who knows what's going on, is disappearing. And they will in the next 15 to 20 years. And they have to shore that up somehow. And a lot of that is being shored up with CNCs. Before, CNCs used to be, and they still are, there for production. They're popular for production, where you could take your experienced guys and just make them even more productive. Now it's becoming a crutch, I think. I think in the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to be a crutch where they have to have it because they don't have the skilled labor that can cut up a kitchen on a table saw.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to automate, especially the really big companies. That's the reason why these kitchen design houses are so popular right now, is because they have these big factories where they can teach somebody one skill and have them do it. They don't do it very well, especially with the quality that I've seen recently. But that's something that's going to come up in the next 10 to 15 years. I'm thinking the next couple decades is going to be fairly pivotal in what happens in the cabinetry business. I mean, construction in general, but cabinetry for sure, because it takes a lot of time to be proficient, and it's not paid in accordance with the amount of time and skill that goes into it. You can make more money as an electrician. You can make more money as a plumber with less experience.
Yeah.
As a cabinet maker, at the previous job I worked at, it was a commercial cabinet shop. I was doing really high-end work. Everybody on site was like, whoa, that's crazy. You must make bank. And I pointed to the first-year carpentry student or carpentry apprentice, and I was like, that guy makes more money than me.
Yeah.
And he was pushing a broom.
Wow.
While I was installing, like this really complicated stair detail in this multi-level office building. I'm like, that guy's making more money than me.
That's wild. I'm on your website, and I notice a particular form on there. Do you have a CRM and automation in your business?
A little bit. A buddy of mine is a marketer for mortgage brokers in Canada, and he helps me to basically just work on my website. So I'm not a website guy, but I recognize the need for that. And so I've been leaning on him a little bit more, tweaking it, trying to get that more set up. The crazy thing here, though, is that their websites in South Central Montana, or Montana in general, are not good. Even the top cabinet companies in the area, their websites look like they came out of 2010.
Yeah.
So,
1998. Yeah.
Yeah, so you look at that type of stuff and you go, man, yeah, my website's really a lot better than theirs, way better than theirs, but it could be better still. But yeah, I have a chat bot, which I haven't really done much with. And then I have online scheduling, where I schedule, basically right now it's just Thursday afternoons. I schedule
consultations, right?
Consultations, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do use that. I haven't really utilized much else on the website. I mean, I sold some products and stuff on the website.
For sure.
Tool parts and that type of thing, but...
Do you use a pipeline? Do you use the pipeline?
I'm not sure what the pipeline is.
Okay. Well, like opportunities and being able to drag and drop the CRM. Do you use the CRM, or do you just use the calendar booking?
I use calendar booking. I'm not sure what CRM is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's highlighting my weak suit in this whole business thing is
Yeah.
automation and that type of stuff. I'm not a like I can do technical type stuff,
Yeah.
but I haven't put a lot of time towards it yet.
And so you have quite this social following. What has been your strategy for growth utilizing social media and Instagram?
There hasn't been a strategy.
Yeah.
It's literally been me going, this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to video it, and then I'm going to post it. My main thing is I'm trying to provide value, whether that's through education or through people laughing at stupid antics that come through my mind at a certain time. It's there hasn't been a strategy. There's no, I need to post at this time. Maybe it would be better if I did, but I focus on trying to be as honest as possible and giving my opinion where I have experience.
Okay, cool. But it looks like your strategy has been consistency. That has been that you post regularly. Like, is it almost daily?
Yeah, I try to put something out daily. Usually I have a day. Usually there's a day or a couple days a week where I think about and I have vision for a post every day. But that's mostly just me going, I'm using the table saw cutting this material up. I'm going to video this. Or I'm sanding, or I'm spraying, or I'm, planing or sending through the wide belt sander or anything like that. And then also adding in lifestyle type stuff because I really enjoy hunting. I love outdoors stuff. I love hiking, that type of stuff. And just throwing that out there because I know that, hey, there are guys like me or even people who like watching stuff like that are going to be on there. And if I can just, I try not to throw junk out. There was a time where people are like, well, you have to post like every day, 3 to 4 times a day. And it would just be junk. There'd be nothing. It's just fluff. And people just scroll past that. What's the point? Who cares? And that would make me mad because essentially what that means is I am looking at everybody on there as just a stepping stool if I'm doing that. I'm looking at as a follower or somebody who's going to engage with that as if I focus on the algorithm or the platform as I got to beat this thing, I'm not providing the value that I think is necessary to have actual not influence. I hate using that word now because it's been bastardized, but having value in what I'm doing. If I'm just going to push it out there, everybody else is just a number and I'm trying to get bigger numbers and that's the point. And for what? Like, I'll sell myself out for what? What's the point in doing that? And it just, it frustrates me, and the whole viral repost for boosted engagement and all that stuff is just a dumb game. And I see the people who chase it. I've met them. I see them. It's just like it's like stripping yourself of character for the sake of numbers.
For sure.
And that's not my thing.
What are your thoughts on Thread right now?
So back in the day, I know Thread's supposed to be a competitor to Twitter.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was on Twitter and I got in lots of trouble because my humor is one where I would there needs to be context behind what I'm actually saying. So if I said something,
you just can't post something without context.
No,
because it'll come off wrong. It'll come off wrong
for sure. Because half the time, when the words that come out of my mouth, if you just read them on a page, you go, "Wow, that's terrible." But because of the inflection, because of the look on my face, it conveys more. So it's like taking, it's like watching. I feel like Threads is like watching a movie through a narrow tube, You only see part of it, and you have to dart around to get all of it and figure it all out. I don't. There probably are people that add value on there, but I just don't see the value in like one sentence things. But
Yeah.
I went on there. I have a presence on there. It's like, well, whatever. We'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I know I don't understand it, and so I don't put a lot of effort towards that when
sure.
I could be putting it somewhere else.
What does growth look like? I know that you had mentioned you want to scale. Where do you see the next 6 to 12 months being like for you and your business?
6 to 12 months. My goal is to basically become as busy as I possibly can so that I'm able to fill in. Basically, I'm trying to create the need and then meet that need as it comes. So
It's almost like manufacturing your own demand.
yeah. I don't see a point in bringing an employee on when I don't need them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
For
Now,
sure.
it's one thing to be ready for something. So if I know a lot of stuff is coming in, like say if I meet a guy tomorrow and he goes, hey, I have this enormous house. We
Yeah.
need 3 kitchens and a bevy of built-ins and all this stuff, all this work, and I want you to do the trim work, and I want you to do all the wood detail, like feature walls and all that type of stuff. A huge job. And he goes, plus I got 5 more houses down the line. Then I can go, all right, I know what I need to do.
Let's
I
go.
know- yeah.
Yeah.
But the hard thing now is finding the labor. That's the hardest thing. The cool thing is cabinet making has its own little there's its own little thing behind cabinet making where it's kind of a cool job. It's interesting. There's a bit of romanticism behind it because of the woodworking side, which I think is bogus. It's a skill like anything else, but people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I love the craft. It's amazing. It's a job.
Yeah.
And it's a business, and I'm trying to do well in it. What I'm doing now is basically acquiring the setup and the what I need in order to bring a employee in and have them be profitable right away. So I'm working on automation, not automation, but having the right tools in place. So edge banders coming soon, a new dust collection system that's going to run throughout the entire shop. I feel like if I can't be as efficient as possible as one guy, it's only going to get worse if I bring more people in. So
For sure.
dialing in what I've got here already so that I know, boom, somebody comes in, they want something done. I work really hard on communication. So that's what I did recently. I went from in the fall of 2021 going, I'm bad at communication with customers. I need to get better at that. By 2022 spring, I was very good and have been since then, which is
How did you do that?
I just buckled down and did it. It's like, I don't want to reply to this person because I'm not ready to give them a good answer yet, but I need to give them an answer anyway.
So like
Just
maintaining
mind-
high touch, high level communication and being as clear and upfront as to expectations as possible.
Yeah. So when they communicate with me and say, hey, I'm wondering if you can do this. And I go, I don't think I can do that. I need to reply back to them and go, you know what? I'm not sure if I can handle this at the moment, but I want to try. And basically just let them know my goodwill towards them. And that even if I can't do the work for them, I want to do the work for them.
Yeah.
But it's really just pushing back against that mental wall, which says, oh, I don't have a good answer for them right now. I'm not going to reply. That will hurt the relationship more than if I reply with a bad answer. So I hear all the time, I'm sure you do too, oh, this contractor didn't get back to me. He wasn't clear on the timeline. He wasn't clear on the details. I
Yeah.
make sure that the customer has all of their questions answered as quickly as possible. My bids are turned around quick. My revisions are really fast. I basically saw it as a challenge to me personally to try to get everything done as quickly as possible, so that was success. If I was able to reply back to them, within a week or within a couple days, and then if I was to get them a design within a week, I would be winning.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times with that, it's kind of like part of like a systems conversation. Is like I always look at it like context switching. When you're in the shop and you're working and you're like focused on working because you can't do anything else because you actually need to produce at that moment. It takes a lot to unwind, to sit down, to actually come up with a very clear, coherent response to somebody's text or an email or a message that they put together. And it's it's kind of like, when people say, oh, when you get interrupted, it takes you a long time to get back to the thing that you were staying focused on. And I feel like that's the thing with woodpreneurs, is like you actually need to make time to be clear-headed, to respond back to the things, and to bid, and to design, and to sell, and to quote, and to manage people, and to do marketing. So it's like being able to create segments that's good on you to be able to recognize that, because a lot of people don't recognize that. They know it's a problem, but they don't actually work on it.
Yeah, I would argue that the reason that a lot of people don't do it is because they don't want to give a bad response and because they're lazy. I think there's a lot, especially in the woodworking industry now, there are not a lot of innovations with stuff, but there are a lot of features that are designed to make things more convenient. And what that is doing is it's stripping the work ethic from people, because they're trying to work hard. There's like, you have this person working super hard with half the tools. They're getting the job done. And they're sometimes getting the job done faster. Why am I not doing that? Well, it could be because all these tools that were meant to make me more efficient, instead of using them to produce, I'm using them as a crutch so I can be lazier at work. And I see that completely with communication. It was completely my own laziness. I looked at it and went, I am being lazy right now. I don't have the right answer. I want to be able to give a slam dunk answer that they're going to be happy with. But right now, I have to realize the discomfort in giving an answer that they're probably not going to like. But 9 times out of 10, that was not a big deal for them. They're like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, I know that this might take a little bit longer. That's okay. They may have been disappointed, but the grace that they extended to me because I was honest, forthright, and quick to respond, I didn't waste their time. I didn't treat them as if they were a child and all they could handle was good news. I made sure that I was giving them the straight goods. And that's what I try to do with everything. I'm trying to do straight goods on social, trying to do straight goods on podcasting, trying to do straight goods on communication with my clients, and to give that as quickly and as the best way that I possibly can, and realizing I can do this. I don't have to have 10 minutes away from work in order to reply to this email. I know what I need to say. I know how I need to say it. I'll reply back to this email, and then I'll get back to work, because my communication with my client is what is bringing me money. I could be building these cabinets and build them twice as fast, but it's not going to bring me any more money than if I am terrible with my communication.
That's pretty mic drop-ish right there, John.
Well, my mic is attached to this arm, so I can't drop it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this is a part of the podcast where I give you any marketing or business advice. What is there something that you're struggling with that you'd like an extra set of eyes and ears on in your business?
I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to make my name more well known in the area. Unfortunately, a lot of that almost everything is done through Facebook on here, Facebook pages, which is kind of silly. Nobody has websites. I have the guy up, my buddy Jackson, who's helping me with that. But then beyond that, to reach the people that don't spend a lot of time online, which a lot of people around here don't, what I'm doing now is I have a billboard up, which just sounded completely bogus to me. I was like, what's the point of a billboard? But I have one of those up. I guess one thing I'm wondering is, aside from online marketing, what are some of the best ways to get the information out about a company that's trying to be known?
So there's it's good questions, because my first was to recommend online but organic, because right now the sort of the algorithm is all about paid, right? So there's Instagram wants you to boost, Facebook pages want you to boost, all of the other things. I don't think they're there yet, but I think there's a couple things as it relates to business to business. One is your a LinkedIn page, right? Because you do deal with a lot of commercial, and the other is your Facebook personal page. And I said that Facebook personal page, not your business page, your Facebook personal page. And so you can treat your Facebook personal page like your Instagram page, where it is 80% you and 20% business, right? That same thing with the bow hunting and the the firework video, like all of that on your Facebook personal page. Because folks that listen to my podcast know that I've been pushing this, and I kind of teach this to clients, is really around, there's a little hack that you can get 5,000 friends, right? You can get 5,000 friends on Facebook, right? And if I'm friends with you, John, you're friends with me, we both see each other's stuff. On Instagram, if I follow you, you don't follow me, I sometimes see your stuff if I decide to engage, but you'll never see my stuff. And so just imagine that you are friends with every contractor in your area. Personal Facebook friends with them. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, too, I believe that there's an opportunity for you. So you have this billboard. That's a good first step, right? I think leveling that up and combining LinkedIn with joining the Home Builders Association, joining the Chamber of Commerce, taking a leadership position in your community, whether it's, coaching a team, whether it is donating or being on the board of a charity locally, literally being a leader and viewed as a leader in your community, and you combine that with your Facebook personal page branding and LinkedIn to keep those professional relationships, I think that's a really powerful combination. You don't need it's a lot of repeat and referral businesses that come to you, and you're doing business to business marketing. So on a personal level, you can have a personal relationship with these, again, older folks, right? The contractors, GCs, they're older, right? They're not on Instagram per se. They are on Facebook watching pictures of their grandkids, right? So you can connect with them there. And then some of these home builders and GCs, they do business on LinkedIn. So you can connect with them on a business level there, and then connect with them because, again, these folks, they are about relationships and they do things in the community. So getting involved on a local community level would be super duper powerful. Again, I've had clients that, because of the Facebook branding, personal branding, and again, it's like marketing 80% you and your personal life, 20% your business. But everybody knows what you do. You start wearing your hoodies, like some of my clients say, you wear your hoodies around town, everybody knows you. People start thinking of you regardless. And it is really because of this Facebook right now. I know a lot of people that are making millions of dollars because of their Facebook personal page. You just have to reframe what you think a Facebook personal page is. But it's an organic hack. It's a completely organic hack right now. Because again, I'll say one more thing, is that Instagram's algorithm is down, and you've seen it, right? So you can post a certain amount, and depending on what you post, you probably get 1% of the people that look at your posts. And who knows who those 1% are? It's probably not your target audience. And so for me, I would just go exactly, so like boomers and older folks are on Facebook. So I would do marketing to them there. And, young, fun, energetic person that's connecting with them. You said it earlier. It's like some of your friends that you went to high school with, and, their families are on there. It's just like, and you are from the area, like that's even more of a powerful combination. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is when it comes to marketing, you just got to know where your customers are and literally speak to them the way they want to be spoken to. Right? Mm-hmm. I would even think about potentially creating an email newsletter just for the contractors in your area. So I would scrape together a list of folks, and I would email them or text them and just say, hey, I'm a cabinet maker in the area. Is it all right if I put you on an email list? I will let you know my projects. I'll show you pictures of my projects once a month. And then, that's one way to do it, right? Like if you're building a project and your client is cool with contractors coming over, invite 5 of them at once. Batch your time. Literally, just batch your time. Just invite 5 of them at once, right? If you're really cool with somebody, throw a party in the kitchen when you're finished. You know what I mean? Like if you're really cool with them. But like really it's about being social and building a community of people that are your ideal customer. That's the end goal. The end goal is to build a community where they know, like, trust, love you. They think you're hilarious. They get your humor. They want to go hunting with you. You'll be eating forever. Like that.
Cool.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Any last bit of parting advice for the Woodpreneur community? Context? That sounded like a thread right there.
My next thread. Nobody likes being fooled. And if you feel like you have the confidence to do what you are pretending to do, then great. But if you're pretty sure you can't follow through, or you're not sure you can follow through, don't fake it. Because people root for folks who are being honest with their struggles, not glorifying their struggles. I think being honest with the struggle, and they want to root you on. But I hate that fake it till you make it thing. That's just, it's like, yeah, out of the gate, I'm lying to everybody. I hate liars. And I don't know many people that like liars. So whatever you do, try to be as honest as you possibly can. And when you fail, don't try to hide it. Say, this is where I failed. Because that by itself is valuable.
Cool. John, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for sharing your story and your sage advice. I love the communication part. That was that was really, really, really insightful and powerful. Thanks so much. Website, Instagram?
SteneWoodwork.com. Stene Woodwork is my Instagram, and Danger Mike is my podcast.
Awesome. Thanks so much, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye.